Hi guys, I have Miguel back on the channel. You may remember him from before. If not, you'll be able to see the video up above. But Miguel is going to tell us all about his experience about purchasing a condo in the Philippines and the whole process of purchasing a condo in the Philippines. Stick around. All right, Miguel, thanks for coming back on. It's good to see you back in the Philippines.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem. And you are settling in Deva.
Yep.
And I know you, for a moment there, you had thought about Dumaguete as well, but explain why Deva over Dumaguete for you.
It basically just comes down, for me, to infrastructure.
Right.
I can always get a ride. I can always
grab taxis.
Grab a taxi.
There's more
no
malls.
Blackouts.
Yeah.
I always got my aircon.
Yeah.
Nice workout facilities. I got a really nice pool that I can exercise in every day.
You decided to go with a condo.
Yeah, definitely the condo. The condominium experience, yes.
Were you thinking, okay, I'm going to buy a condo right at the very beginning, or is this something you just kind of started to think, maybe I should buy a condo?
I never, ever even considered a condo, to tell you the truth, before I ended up staying in one in an Airbnb when I first got here. Is the first time.
In Deva.
Yeah, in Deva. Because my plan was to purchase, like a house or a piece of land and build. That was my first inclination, especially since you could build for so much less than in the U.S.
Right.
Build it exactly like you like it. Basically live the same as in the U.S. You got your little house, you go do your shopping, you go to the gym, like that.
Yeah.
But in the first 6 months here, I wasn't able to find that scenario where I find a gym that had everything I needed, or and a store close enough. It was hard to find everything you needed in a close proximity like you can in the U.S. Like you can go to different neighborhoods anywhere in the U.S. basically in a bigger town and find everything you need within a couple square miles.
Yeah, and for a lot of people, if you don't know, if this is the first time seeing Miguel is legally blind, and so for you it was more important to have all that stuff just nearby. Yeah,
since I don't drive, and it's even hard to walk in the Philippines.
Yeah, sidewalk situation is not great here.
Yeah, and so in Davao, I can go door to door and have walkable ground all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in your particular condo, you don't have to say the name if you don't want to, but your particular condo, what kind of amenities does it have that you like?
Well, the first thing is the workout facilities, because I really enjoy the Philippines, and I want to spend even more time in the Philippines. I'll be able to spend more time in life if I do it healthy.
Yes.
So they got the gym. They've got 4 pools.
4 pools. Wow.
4 pools.
This is a new condo, huh? Fairly new, huh?
Fairly new. 2018, and they just finished building the last building in 20.
And this is the one that you're going to move into, the last building built.
Yes.
Okay. And you were telling me they have a coffee shop down on the first floor.
Coffee shop on the first floor, which is really nice. And then they have a bar and restaurant on the roof deck of the second building.
Wow. Okay.
They also do Zumba up there.
Wow. And your girl likes that a lot.
Yeah, she likes the Zumba. They've got so in the middle, they've got like 4 buildings, and so the middle's almost always in shade except for high noon.
Okay.
And it creates a wind tunnel, so there's always a breeze coming off the ocean. They've got a playground down there for kids. You know, if you want to have kids, they've got swings and trampolines and teeter-totters. And
that's great.
Then they got a big open field that you can have a picnic in or play soccer. They've got basketball courts. They've got a gym. And in one of the gyms, they've got like a boxing setup.
Oh,
you
nice.
know, so they have a heavy bag in there. And
so they got a few gyms.
Yeah, but they're like high school gyms, right? So they got one right on top of the other high school gyms.
Gotcha.
And in one of those gyms, they've got the heavy bag set up. And then they've got a weight room with dumbbells and then a bunch of machines and treadmills and things like that on the second floor.
Awesome. And you were also telling me they have a laundry shop or it's being built, or?
Yeah, laundry shop will be done in January. A convenience store. And water is up and running. So water delivery, I get the 5 gallons for 35 pesos delivered right to your door.
Nice. So it's got everything you really need.
Yeah, so I never have to leave unless I want to go to the mall to shop.
Which is very near, right?
Yeah, it's like 60 pesos.
60
taxi
peso
ride. Air-conditioned taxi ride.
Yeah,
60 pesos.
So that's good. So when did you decide, okay, you know what, maybe I should look into purchasing a condo?
Well, when I found out about all the amenities, because when I first stayed there, the pool was and the workout center were all they had last year.
Okay.
And
so
I thought about it then, but I'm like, and I was coming here to do Magetti and all the nice people here, and so I was kind of thinking, well, maybe I can find a setup that is close to here in Dumaguete, because we really like Dumaguete.
Yeah, I remember last year we talked about that.
And so we were unable to even really find a pool that was workout where I could work out.
Yeah.
You
like to swim laps.
Yeah. So I usually swim for an hour a day, and I'm up to 2 workouts a day now. So I'm doing about 3,000 yards. And I need the line in order not to run my head into the wall. On the other end.
Right. Now, what is the process to purchase a condo? What are some of the things? Like, you wanted to make payments, so they do have payment options.
Yeah, right? So if you're a baller like you just drop the 120,000 and you're done.
Right.
But
that's U.S. 120,000 U.S.
Well, yeah, it's not quite that much, but for the particular condo that I want, it's gonna be. It'll be that when I'm done paying it.
Okay.
Because of interest.
Sure.
But if I were to just drop, it'd be about $80K. You can get a nice 2-bedroom for $80K, or a 1-bedroom for about $50, maybe $60, and they're not worth it. I don't think.
No.
For a single person that's just going to be by themselves and don't mind living in a cruise ship cabin, they're all right. But 2-bedroom is definitely how I had to go. So, 80 to 100K, you can get a 2-bedroom. The one I'm buying is 67 square meters.
Then with a nice balcony and.
Yeah.
What floor are you on? Do you have?
I'm going to be on the second floor.
Second floor. Okay.
But they've got all the way up to 23, I think, is the penthouse levels. They've got some 3-bedrooms. They've got 2 bedrooms. And each one of the condos has like a roof deck where you can go and sit and talk and hang out. They've got furniture and everything up there.
So what are the requirements? Is it a certain percentage down, and then how does that work?
They have like different specials. The way I'm doing it is I am putting a 30K down, and then
U.S.
and then doing payments for 10 years. I can do it for 7 years, 5 years, depending on how big you want your monthly payment.
Okay, gotcha. And even on the down, they're letting you spread that out into some payments for the down payment?
Yes, I'm going to pay it over 10 months.
Okay.
Because I signed a lease there for a year.
Oh, I see.
I'm paying $28,000 a month for a lease there.
Okay.
And the person that I got the lease through, the agent, I kept asking them for the condo that I wanted with the big balcony.
Right.
And they kept telling me that condo wasn't available. They were all sold.
Okay.
So I signed a year's lease there to be there and check it out because were lots of 2 bedrooms. And while I was there, I ended up talking to the property themselves, and they said 1 was left. So I had to go through this. First, I had to go through this whole big thing of dumping my agent, firing my agent. So I had to actually...
So you had to go through the process of calling the agent.
I had to call my agent in front of them, and then I had to write a letter that says, I'm giving up my agent, and I want the new agent.
Some coffee being delivered here. All right. Dark
so
chocolate.
I had to do all that just to be able to talk to them about the condo.
Okay, thank you.
And then I had to put 20,000 Filipino down to hold the condo for the process.
Okay.
Then the next thing was to get a bank account, because in order to do the payments, you have to have a Filipino bank account, and you either have to give them a certain number of prepaid checks or predated checks, like 24 predated checks for them to cash every month.
Right.
Or
does that make you nervous? Giving them these...
That does, just because it's weird, and in the States it's illegal, to do predated checks. But
not here.
Yeah.
A lot of times they try to do that with rentals here, and I always advise for rentals. I always advise foreigners don't ever do that. But this is a different situation. But how hard is it to open a bank? Because a lot of people have a hard time opening up a bank on a tourist visa. So
yeah, it's really hard on the tourist visa. I tried to open before, and I'd gone to a couple different banks, and finally I got to one bank, a BDO branch, because like you said, each branch is different. Like it'd be the same bank but a different branch.
Nothing's uniform.
Right.
Everything is. It's like they all run on their own individual rules.
Right.
Every driver's license, LTO, every bank.
Everybody has different procedures.
Yes.
That's what they call them.
Yeah.
Different policies.
Yeah.
So I got into BDO, and they're like, okay, you can have a bank account, but you have to wait till you're 6 months. And I'm like, well,
I've heard that.
I've got 6 months, and they're like, yeah, but you left the U.S., so you got to wait 6 more months. And I'm like, okay. All right, that's fine. I'll do that. So I filled out all the paperwork, and I was waiting.
Okay.
And then I found out that this condo's ready, and I put my 20,000 pesos down. And, so then I had to start getting a bank. Luckily, the guy, my new agent, went to BDO with me to try and get that branch, but they had totally different requirements,
of course.
Nothing about 6 months, but they wanted me to get an ID from, I forget which department, but that was going to take 2 months. I was only holding it for a month, right? So then we went to PNB because
ACR card, was it?
No, it was some other
national ID.
Yeah, some other national ID.
Okay.
Like IRS or something like that. So we went to PNB, and we were able to get one there.
Okay.
But they had all these requirements, like you had to have a barangay ID to prove that I lived at Verdun Park, which I just moved in. I'd only been there for a month.
Right.
And then I had to have a IRS ID and something else, like 3 different things. And he's like, I'll take care of that for you. We got a lawyer. He took my information. They went to their lawyer. He came back 2 days later. It's like, here's this ID, here's that ID, here's that ID. We went and got the bank account.
They wanted the sale. They were really helping you along. Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah. So you had to get through all that, get the bank, and now you're just waiting for your lease to end, and then you will be able to...
No, it's still not done.
Still not done. What else do you got?
Done.
What else do you got?
So Halloween hit, and everything shut down for 3 days. Yeah.
All Saints Day. Yeah.
So they got to get me a contract.
Okay.
I've got to Oh, okay. So first, then I had to sign paperwork that said they can take $3,000 out of my bank account every month for the next 10 months, right? And I had to sign that before I got the contract.
And we're talking dollars here, not
U.S.
pesos.
dollars,
Yes.
right? And I was really nervous about that. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't even have a and so he's like, well, it's not going to kick in until you actually sign the contract. And so I actually recorded that meeting.
Okay.
Like I didn't do it on video, but I have a voice recorder.
Okay.
That I sat right there and I recorded the whole meeting. So I had to sign the agreement for that. Now I'm waiting for the contract to get here so that I can go to a lawyer, have the lawyer read it, make sure everything's fair.
Right.
Then I have to sign the contract and ship it to them because I'm in Dumaguete instead of in Deva. And then it'll start, and I have to get it all done before the 15th, which is when my hold runs out. And they take the first payment.
No pressure, huh?
No.
And then, of course, I have Miguel flew here actually for my wedding. Well, you went to Cebu first.
No, going to Cebu next.
Going to Cebu next.
Yes.
And so you came here for my wedding.
Yep.
Much appreciated, Miguel.
My pleasure.
Yeah, so, well, it sounds like quite the journey to purchase a condo. Unless, I suppose, if you're paying for it outright, it'd probably be much easier.
That's but the scary thing is, one of the scariest things, at least I've found, is depositing that amount of money into a Filipino bank because they only guarantee $10,000, right?
Right.
And so
it's not like the U.S. I think it's 100,000 or 250. Or...
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's a little scary. And then just doing the wire transfer. So I've done a couple wire transfers just as tests. It's like the first one, I only did $100 and it cost me $50 to do it, just because I wanted to make sure the money went there, got there.
Right.
So I guess, so my bank has to send the money through Mellon Bank in New York. Okay. There's a bunch of stuff, and if your address is wrong,
is it USAA?
USA, yep.
Yeah, I recognize as soon as you said Mellon Bank. Yeah.
And so if my address is wrong, my phone number is wrong, it could get kicked back, and so that's a little scary. And of course, if you get one number wrong on the bank account, it ends up in somebody else's bank account. You're not getting that back. And
no.
So, I did that transfer just to make sure it went through, so that when I drop that 30,000 in, that I know it's going to the right place. So that's a little scary.
Sure.
So I guess if you're dropping a whole 100,000 in, you'd probably just drop it into their bank.
Probably, yeah, maybe a direct.
Right. So that might be easier, but still kind of scary just wiring that amount of money
for sure
to somebody else in a foreign country. It's a little scary for me.
Well, it sounds like quite, as you know, Maya and I are shopping for land, and we're eventually wanting to build a house, so I'm sure at some point we're going to have to go through a lot of this stuff. Maybe not quite like this, but it's always a fun journey in the Philippines to go through some of this stuff.
Especially with the different rules and
of
every institution and every government office.
And every barangay, every city, everything is all, nobody operates on the same set of rules.
Yeah, so you just gotta exercise your patience. So,
yes, you do.
Along with your body here.
Well, thank you, Miguel. I appreciate you coming back on, and we'll see Miguel again on Saturday at our wedding in just a couple of days.
Super fun.
All right, thanks, Miguel.
Bye.